Coach Seth Tierney, a 14-12 defeat at snowy Princeton today. Your assessment of today's game?
Yeah, certainly disappointed in the outcome. Lapse in the third quarter where we lost our composure a little bit, and they put a couple away. Certainly on man up, we got to tighten up a few things. The hard part is there's spurts that things are looking, that we're going to be okay. The difficult part of swallowing it is, we're 0-2 and we're back where we were last year. And, so we need to reassess things. We got to get back out there on Tuesday again versus Manhattan, and we got to weather the storm. So we're going to stay with them. Our guys are our guys. Good effort. We got to be a little bit smarter, and we got to make sure that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. And we got to that's the theme of this whole thing.
First thing you obviously can say, Coach, is was there any difference playing in these weather conditions?
Yeah, but it was that way for both teams. I would love to tell you that when you lose, everybody looks for excuses except for the coaches. When you lose, the coaches, we lost, and they had to play in it too. Again, we made a little run at the end. You lose games not at the end, but you'll lose games during the course of the game. And if you look at the stat sheet, we outshot them. We outground balled them. We outfaced off. We did a better job facing off. And there's a few things we just needed. Need to play a little bit better defense. We needed to finish the ball a little bit more. Their guy had some saves, due to some shots. I think we hit him a couple times. But those are the things that you need to do to win games, and we just didn't do that today.
A couple times in the third quarter, you mentioned obviously the run that they go on, but a couple of times it was just a couple of defensive, a couple of times where they had odd man rushes and beat you. What did they do? Was it just slow footing because of the snow, or was it guys out of position?
Yeah, I think both. A little bit. I think guys were trying to make a play. There were times you probably saw it, through TV and watching it live. When you slide, sometimes you can't stop. And now all of a sudden, if they have the ball, it happened for us a couple times where we banged in a couple, and it happened for them as well. So the footing was equally as bad for both teams.
You guys were really good on the man up today. If that's something you take away from it, especially late, you scored a bunch of goals there. Mike MLAX doing a great job. What did you see from the man up unit?
Well, we went 1 for 6 versus Marquette, and we needed to make sure that we did that. And then we're going to look back when we had a 2-minute non-releasable, and we didn't score. We ended up dropping one inside, and then they ended up clearing it. And then it's really difficult conditions to go out and chase now, because now you got to slip and slide. You're going to make things worse. You slide, you foul, and so we had to sacrifice that a little bit just to play the percentages. But man up did a better job. 12 goals. We got to continue to score those numbers, and we'll tighten it up. We'll tighten it up down the defensive end. Chris Clark, I thought he responded, did a good job. They threw everybody at him. He faced off probably against 4 or 5 different guys today.
What was the game plan on the 2-minute non-releasable going into that?
Yeah, listen, things were going pretty well on man up, and they played 2 guys versus our 3 up top, and we were just staying with it. Mike MLAX, instead of shooting it, threw it down to Tim Nowak. Tim Nowak threw it inside, and we dropped it, and but it was 2-minute non-releasable. We had a chance to really cut it down to 2 and 1, and then you don't know what happens. Then they start gripping their sticks. We just never got it down below 2 to have them start feeling that a little bit.
And you mentioned Chris Clark, especially there. Third quarter gets dominated, but comes back right in the fourth, and really it was just a game where 1, 4, or 5 big face-offs for you. 1, 4, or 5 big face-offs, scored a goal for us. I want to say he had a huge assist for us. And it wasn't an assist. He threw one behind his back, and I think it was on Ryan Riley's goal. And and the other scenario is he really bounced back in the fourth quarter, which was huge. He got a couple penalties called against him, and that happens when someone's dodging hard. You mentioned it. Last year you started 0-2, lost to Marquette and Princeton. This year you started 0-2. What do you take away from last year? The way you guys finished was one of the best teams in the country. So how do you do that same thing?
Yeah,
start in the same spot.
Well, we got to get back to the drawing board. We got to figure out a way to win. Winning sometimes cures a lot of things. It gets you rolling a little bit. It gets you thinking in a different pattern. But when you lose, you start to question some things. There's a very good lacrosse team in that locker room right now. I know we're 0-2, and the coaches will get back to the drawing board, and we'll continue to make adjustments till we get this thing right.